Rain hit the corrugated roof of Bay County Animal Services so hard it sounded like handfuls of nails poured from the sky. The front office smelled of bleach, damp cardboard, and old fear. Sam Bennett shifted a 50-pound bag of kibble off his bad shoulder and onto the intake counter, careful not to let the weight roll his left side forward. The metal plate and screws in his shoulder had opinions about weather. Tonight they were loud. "Donation from the Veterans Center," he said. The clerk barely looked up from her monitor, mid-50s, nicotine voice, county badge clipped to a cardigan stretched thin at the elbows. "Leave it by the wall." Then the barking started again from the back corridor, one sharp burst, two short, one long, then a pause. Not random, not frantic noise, pattern. Sam's head turned before he could stop it. The clerk swore under her breath. "God, that one. Been at it all evening." The bark came again, ragged this time, like sandpaper dragged over rusted steel. Sam stood still and listened. He'd heard panic in gunfire, in radios, in boys calling for medevac after their first real hit. This wasn't kennel aggression. It was signal. Alert cadence forced through a blown voice. "Which dog?" he asked. The clerk clicked through a chart and rolled her eyes. "Retired K9. Belgian Malinois. Gray muzzle, bad hips, bad attitude. Bit somebody important." She picked up a red stamp, pressed it down with bureaucratic finality, and slid the file into a tray. "Euthanasia. Hold." As if she knew he was reading upside down, she muttered, "No one's coming for a washed-up bite dog." Something cold and old moved through Sam's chest. He had been calm in firefights. He had been calm with morphine burned out of his system and shrapnel still in his thigh. But those 5 words tightened every tendon along his neck. He glanced toward the hall. "Can I see him?" "We're closed." He tapped the wall clock, 7:11 p.m. "I volunteer here Thursdays. Thursdays are bathing pit mixes and unclogging drains, Mr. Bennett, not handling legal liabilities." The bark hit again, then broke into a hoarse cough. Sam lifted his right hand unconsciously, the hand that still tracked exits when he entered a room, the hand that woke with him every 90 minutes because full sleep had become a rumor years ago. "Just let me look." She stared at him, then at the rainwater creeping in under the door. Finally, she snapped, 2 minutes. Don't put your fingers through the bars." He followed her down the narrow hall lined with stainless cages and laminated posters about responsible pet ownership. The barking stopped when they turned the corner, as if the dog had measured footfalls and decided to conserve oxygen. The Malinois stood pressed to the kennel gate, shoulder muscles trembling under a dull tan coat. Age had silvered his face, but not softened it. His ears were upright, eyes hard amber, fixed not on the clerk, but on Sam. There was dried blood on one front paw where he'd scraped at metal. His chest expanded in tight, controlled pulls. "Rex," the clerk said with a theatrical sigh. "Former K9 unit. Retired 6 months. Surrendered yesterday." Surrendered. The word sat wrong. Sam crouched, keeping his profile angled. Not frontal, not threat. "Hey, partner." Rex's nose worked the air. He let out a low whine that carried less fear than urgency. Then he barked once, single, deliberate, and slammed his weight against the gate. The latch rattled. The clerk flinched. "He does that all day," she said. "Resource guarding, dominance, whatever. We've got notes from police saying he's unstable." Sam watched the dog's eyes instead of his teeth. They tracked the corridor behind him, then back to him, then to the file clip in the clerk's hand. Not rage, direction. "Who did he bite?" Sam asked. "You don't need that." "Who?" "Cole Mercer." Even through the rain and fluorescent hum, the name landed heavy. Mercer, as in Mercer Development, the family whose name was on 2 condo towers, a pediatric wing, and half the campaign signs from here to the county line. Money old enough to call itself legacy. The clerk folded her arms. At a private party, marina property. Dog attacked unprovoked. There are statements. Their video. System failed. She said it too quickly. Look, are we done? Sam rose slowly, knees popping. Not yet. Back in the office, while she answered a ringing phone, he looked at the intake screen reflected in the window. Date of incident. Municipal Marina Annex. Subject injured. Mercer, Cole. Animal status. Dangerous, pending disposition. Underhandler information. One name froze him harder than the rain had. Ruiz. Detective Lewis, deceased. Sam blinked once, then again, to be sure he wasn't reading it wrong in mirrored glass. Luis Ruiz had run K-9 drills with him 8 years earlier during a joint narcotics task force block. Ruiz brought coffee thick as motor oil and called Sam Navy with a grin that made everyone forgive him for being right too often. Ruiz had moved like a man who trusted his feet, and his dog more than politics. According to a clipped newspaper notice Sam had seen 3 months ago, he died of an overdose in his own garage. Tragic. Off duty. End of story. The monitor listed no replacement handler. No chain of custody details. Just deceased and then surrendered. Sam turned. I need the full intake file. The clerk covered the receiver. Public records request. I'll wait. You'll wait 30 business days. He held her gaze until she looked away first. It wasn't intimidation. It was practice. In his old life, silence was leverage. In Bay County, silence was currency. When she hung up, she slid a thin paper packet across the desk, like she regretted it already. You didn't get this from me. Inside, bite report, liability waiver, surrender affidavit signed by an assistant city attorney, handwritten note from night intake, teen volunteer missing 6 hours, returned disoriented, refused EMS. No further statement. Sam read that line twice. Who's the volunteer? He asked. Minor, redacted. Where is she now? I don't know. The clerk's defiance had thinned into something closer to worry. Mr. Bennett, people are saying this dog is dangerous. People with lawyers. Outside thunder rolled across the bay. Sam closed the file and set his palm on top of it. What do I need to foster him emergency? Her expression sharpened. You can't be serious. 72-hour behavioral hold. I know your policy. That's for approved trainers. I'm on your approved list. Vet center references, handler certifications, bite work history. From 20 years ago? Still valid. She opened her mouth, shut it, then started printing forms with angry, decisive keystrokes. If he bites someone, that's on you. If he escapes, that's on you. If the city revokes this hold, I call and you bring him back immediately. Sam signed where she pointed. His handwriting was blocky, soldier clean. At the bottom of the final page, he initialed a line that effectively said he accepted liability for a dog everyone else had already decided to kill. By the time he clipped a county leash to Rex's collar and stepped into the rain, it was 4:42 a.m., the hour where the world felt paused and guilty. People hoped dawn might erase evidence. He opened the passenger door of his truck. Rex planted all 4 feet and pulled hard left toward the service alley. Home's this way, Sam said. Rex ignored him, body low, nose cutting through rainwater rivulets. Sam let himself be dragged 10 feet before instinct and training align. Don't fight a working dog with a target scent. Follow and assess. They reached the truck anyway after 2 circuits because the shelter lot fence blocked the direct route. Rex jumped in, spun once, and faced the windshield, quivering. When Sam started the engine and turned toward his road out of town, Rex barked once, sharp correction. Yeah, yeah, Sam murmured, and took the opposite lane. Bay County before sunrise looked like a postcard soaked in oil. Manicured palms, empty boardwalk, security lights reflecting off puddles like broken glass. They passed Mercer banners wrapped around light poles, building tomorrow. They passed Hale Medical Plaza, all polished stone and donor names etched into dignity. They passed the police substation with Chief Darnell's bronze plaque by the entrance. In this county, surnames were architecture. Rex whined, then pawed the dash as they neared the industrial block behind old narcotics headquarters. Sam knew the place. Municipal Patrol Garage, now shuttered after budget consolidation. Ruiz had once worked out of Bay 3. Sam parked by a chained gate and cut the engine. "Show me." Rex was out before the door fully opened, nails scraping wet concrete. He towed Sam through a gap in the fence where wire had been clipped and twisted back by hand. The garage smelled of mildew, old fuel, and something metallic underneath. Inside Bay 3, dust coated everything in a fine gray skin. Cinder blocks stacked near a lift. Tarps over tool cabinets, a rusted fender cover crumpled in a corner beneath a spill of dried concrete powder. Rex went straight to it and sat, hard textbook indication, then looked up at Sam, ears forward, waiting for command acknowledgement. Sam's pulse bumped once, heavy. He crouched and lifted the edge of the cover, dark brown streaks, older now, but unmistakable in shape and spread. Blood transfer, wiped and missed, not from a nicked knuckle. Too much. "Jesus, Luis," he whispered. Rex made a tight sound in his throat and pawed the floor near the lift post. Sam brushed away dust with his sleeve. There, half hidden under grit, a spent syringe cap. He didn't touch it. He took photos from 3 angles, then wider shots, then location markers like he was back on target packages in places that never made the news. When he stood, his left leg seized with the familiar hot pinch that ran from old shrapnel scar to knee. He leaned against the post until it passed. Rain drummed the garage roof in steady fire. He looked at the dog. Rex's breathing had settled. Mission behavior complete. Now awaiting next task. "You came back for this," Sam said. Rex held his stare. By 7:30, Sam had Rex in his small house on the edge of county marshland. A place with 2 chairs, 1 bed, blackout curtains, and habits arranged like defensive positions. Rex refused food until Sam laid the fender cover in a contractor bag by the back door. Then he drank, ate half a bowl, and collapsed on a rug facing both exits. Sam made coffee and spread the copied intake pages across his kitchen table beside an old field notebook. He wrote names in block letters. Cole Mercer, Brendan Hale, Tyler Darnell, Detective Louis Ruiz, deceased OD, unidentified teen volunteer, missing 6 hours. He circled Marina Party, circled footage failed, circled surrendered. Then his phone buzzed with a county alert email, code enforcement notice, unpermitted structure violation, inspection required within 24 hours. Address his. He stared at it, expression unchanged. A second ping followed from the VA patient portal. Complaint received regarding behavioral instability and unsafe animal possession. Review pending. Sam set the phone down very carefully. It had begun fast. From the rug, Rex lifted his head and watched him, eyes clear and expectant, like a junior operator waiting to see if command was real or just talk. Sam walked to the sink, braced both hands on the counter, and let memory hit him in controlled bursts. Rotor wash, tracer fire, a teammate bleeding out behind a wall he reached 30 seconds too late. The official wording later had been unfortunate timing. He had carried that phrase like shrapnel for years. Outside, a county truck rolled slowly past his driveway and didn't stop. In Bay County, men like Mercer and Hale and Darnell didn't just throw parties. They erased consequences. They owned paper trails, camera systems, committee votes, and the people paid to stamp forms in red ink. A retired K-9 with a bite report was easy to discredit. A dead detective with an overdose ruling was easier. A teenage volunteer who disappeared for 6 hours and refused EMS could be made to vanish inside rumor forever. Sam turned back to the table. He was 50, limping, hardware in his shoulder, pension tight, reputation useful only until it inconvenienced someone richer. He could hand Rex back when the 72-hour hold expired, tell himself he tried, and return to Thursday chores and fractured sleep. Or he could treat this for what it was. Not a bad dog, not a civil complaint, but an unfinished report, delivered by the only witness nobody wanted to hear. He picked up his phone and called the shelter clerk. When she answered, wary, he said, "I'm extending foster if possible, and I need the volunteer's first name." Long pause. "Why are you doing this, Mr. Bennett?" Sam looked at Rex, at the gray muzzle, the scarred ears, the patience of an animal trained to hold until told otherwise. "Because," he said, "they told him no one was coming." He ended the call, clipped a fresh lead onto Rex's collar, and reached for his keys. "Report received," he told the dog. "Let's go find out who tried to bury it." Rex hit the porch steps before Sam could lock the door. The rain had thinned to mist, the kind that hung in the headlights and made every road light look haloed and false. Sam's truck coughed to life. Rex sat upright in the passenger seat, paws planted, eyes moving between windshield and side mirror like he still wore a badge. Sam put the truck in gear and called the shelter clerk back on speaker. She answered on the third ring. "If this is about extending hold, the director won't be in until—" "First name," Sam said. "Volunteer from the report." Silence. Then the scratch of a lighter. "You didn't hear this from me." Mia Alvarez. Age? 19. Intake wrote teen because she looks 16 and a half. This county can't do math. A beat. She's not on shift until 10. Kennel tech now, part-time. Thank you. "Mr. Bennett," she said, voice lower, "if you're poking at Mercer people, don't do it from my parking lot." He ended the call and checked the mirror again. Empty road. But empty in Bay County could mean watched. At 9:52 a.m., a county code enforcement tag flapped from his mailbox when he swung back past the house to pick up binoculars and an old camera case. Red print. Urgent compliance. Unpermitted rear shed. Unsafe storage. Hearing notice attached. He hadn't built a shed. By 10:07 a.m., there were 2 missed calls from a number he recognized. VA social work liaison. By 10:11 a.m., the voicemail arrived. "Mr. Bennett, we received a welfare complaint alleging sleep disturbance, aggression, and unsafe animal handling. We need to schedule an in-person assessment." Sam deleted it without listening twice. Not because he didn't care, because he cared enough to log the timestamp first. He wrote in his field notebook while idling at a stoplight. Code ticket, 0952, V a complaint, 1011, coordinated pressure window, less than 12 hours. Rex made a low sound, not a growl, notification. Sam looked up. A black Mercedes SUV rolled through the cross street, slowed as it passed his truck, then kept moving. Tinted windows. Mercer Development Permit sticker in the lower corner. "Copy," Sam murmured to the dog. Mia Alvarez was hosing down a kennel run when Sam stepped into the back corridor at the shelter. She was small, dark braid under a county cap, forearms marked by old scratches, and one newer bruise yellowing along the wrist. She looked up, saw Sam, then saw Rex beside him, and went very still. "Rexy," she whispered, and all business vanished from her face for half a second. Rex pulled once toward her, tail low but wagging, controlled recognition, not frenzy. Mia shut off the hose. "They said he was put down." "Not yet," Sam said. "We need to talk." Her gaze flicked to the ceiling corners where 2 dome cameras sat. "Not here." She led him through a side door into the supply lot behind the incinerator bins, where the rain smell drowned the bleach. "You were at the marina party," Sam said. Mia folded her arms tight. "I was assigned as animal support because Cole Mercer wanted photo ops with the K9. Community engagement night." She made air quotes that trembled. "Rich boys in boat shoes pretending they care about public safety." "What happened?" "Rex got weird before sunset. Not aggressive. Focused. Kept blocking this hallway near the lower docks." She swallowed. "Cole had a vet sedative in a syringe. Said Rex was overstimulated and needed to be put in his crate before donors arrived. I told him only handler can medicate. He laughed and told Brendan to hold me." Sam felt the old cold in his chest return. "Brendan Hale?" She nodded. "Tyler Darnell, too. All 3 were drinking. Tyler kept saying, 'My dad will clean paperwork. Relax.'" Rex sat against her leg. She touched his head with shaking fingers. "Did Cole inject him?" Sam asked. "No." Rex snapped the syringe out of his hand and bit him when he tried again. She looked up. "That's the bite report. Not unprovoked. He was stopping an injection." "Why didn't take note? You missing 6 hours." Mia's jaw tightened. "Because I was missing 6 hours." Before Sam could ask more, a shelter supervisor opened the back door and barked, "Mia, phone's away. Break's over." Mia stepped back, mask sliding over her face like armor. "I can't do this on county property." "Where?" Sam asked. She hesitated, then said, "Dockside Diner, 2 p.m. I'll tell you the rest if you bring a recorder and notepad, and we do it right." "Done." As she moved toward the door, she added without turning, "Don't trust local cops. Tyler was on scene before EMS." Sam tried anyway. At the substation, a desk sergeant with polished boots and tired eyes listened to Sam request incident reports tied to Mercer, Marina Annex, Ruiz's death scene supplements, and chain of custody logs for K9 Rex. The sergeant typed slowly, frowned theatrically, then gave him a smile that never reached the eyes. "Sir, anything involving active legal sensitivity needs to go through civil channels. I'm asking for public records. Then file online." "I did. 30 business days." "Sounds about right." Sam leaned in just enough for the sergeant to notice he wasn't leaving. "A witness is in danger." The sergeant's smile thinned. "Then call 911 if there's immediate danger." "That's what I'm doing now." "Sir," the sergeant said, voice dropping, "you're a veteran, right? Decorated? You don't want to get wrapped around Axel rumors. People talk. You got enough on your plate with that VA check-in." Sam stared at him until the man glanced away first. "Civil channels," the sergeant repeated, louder this time, up for the room. Outside, Sam found a Yellow City citation, tucked under his wiper. Improper driveway runoff. Issued 22 minutes earlier while he sat inside. Rex watched him from the passenger seat, ears up. "Message received," Sam said. By noon, the weather had cleared into hard coastal sun. Bay County polished itself quickly after rain, as if grime were for other zip codes. Sam parked across from Dockside Diner at 137 and chose the table with sightlines to both lot exits. Rex lay under the booth, head on paws, eyes on the door. At 1:58, two young men in pressed pastel polos stumbled out of the Marina bar next door carrying plastic cups of vodka soda, like accessories. One wore a Hale medical golf visor. The other had Darnell campaign stickers still on his truck bumper from his father's last re-election. They saw Sam through the diner window and grinned the same expensive grin. Outside, they stopped by his truck and tapped the hood. Sam stepped out before they touched it twice. "Mr. Bennett," Visor said, fake friendly. "Heard you adopted the terrorist dog." "Fostered," Sam said. Sticker bumper swayed, eyes glassy. "Heroes don't age well in this county, man. You should fish. Do puzzles. Let city people city." Sam said nothing. Visor leaned closer, breath sour with gin. "Mercer family gave your Veterans Center that new roof. Be shame if donor confidence changed because someone started unstable rumors about one of your volunteers. There it was. Not subtle, not smart, just practiced." "Get away from my vehicle," Sam said. Sticker bumper smirked. "Or what? You gonna call your war buddies?" Rex stood in the truck doorway, silent, teeth hidden, stare fixed. Both men took one involuntary step back. Sam held their eyes. "Last warning." They retreated with performative laughter, but their hands shook while unlocking their truck. When they drove off, Sam wrote down the plate and timestamp. At 2:06, Mia still hadn't arrived. At 2:12, she texted from an unknown number, "Can't come diner." Watched. Library lot, 2:30. Alone. Sam paid cash, left through the side exit, and began to move like he used to. Angles, reflections, no predictable line. The public library lot sat between an unfinished luxury condo tower and a landscaped retention pond with decorative reeds. Construction had paused months ago. Rebar stuck from concrete like broken antennae. Mercer development banners snapped in the breeze around chain-link fencing. Sam parked 2 rows out. Mia stood near a blue Corolla, hoodie up despite heat, clutching a paper grocery bag to her chest. He walked up slowly. "You good?" She shook her head once. "I found this in my locker." She handed him the bag. Inside was a dead flip phone and a typed note. "Drop it, or you disappear cleaner than Ruiz." Sam folded the note and pocketed it. "Start at the part after you disappeared," he said. Mia took a breath that stuttered. "They dragged me into a boathouse office when I tried to leave the party. Took my phone. Said I saw too much. There was a girl there already. Maybe 17, barely conscious. Tyler kept saying she'd mix wrong meds if anyone asked." Her voice thinned. "Ruiz showed up with Rex. He knew something was wrong. He told me to run, then all hell." Tires squealed. A white utility van with Mercer Security magnetic decals cut across 3 spaces and braked hard beside them. Passenger door flew open. 2 men in black polos, earpieces, zip cuffs in one hand. Sam shoved Mia behind him and stepped into the first man's line with his right side forward. Bad shoulder protected. "County investigator," Sam lied smoothly. "Back off." First man hesitated exactly half a second. Enough for Rex. The dog launched low, hit forearm, and drove the man sideways into the van door with a controlled clamp. No shake, all pressure. Second man swung a baton. Sam caught the wrist, rotated, and put him face first on hood metal before the strike completed. Old muscle memory, economical and ugly. Mia screamed, "Sam!" A third man came from the van's rear, stun gun crackling. Sam kicked the door into his knee, heard ligament pop, then yanked Rex off with a sharp command. "Out! Heel!" Sirens sounded in the distance, too quick, too coincidental. The first man spat blood and shouted, "You just assaulted licensed security." Sam saw the play instantly. Make him aggressor. Force arrest. Remove him from board. Get in your car, he told Mia. She backed toward her Corolla, fumbling keys. A black patrol cruiser slid into the lot before she could open her door. Officer out in seconds, hand near holster. Young, clean haircut. Darnell jawline. What's going on here? Second security man pointed at Sam. This psycho and his attack dog jumped us, Mia yelled. They tried to grab me. The officer looked at her, then at Sam, then at the Mercer decals. Decision made. Ma'am, if you feel threatened, you can file a statement downtown. Right now, everyone step back. Sam kept his hands visible. Run their names. Check the van interior. Zip cuffs, burner phones. The officer ignored him. Mr. Bennett, leash your animal and lower your voice. Mia met Sam's eyes over the cruiser roof. Fear, apology, and finality all at once. She got into her Corolla and drove out while the officer pretended to direct traffic. By the time another unit arrived, the security van was gone. No statements taken, no photos. Civil misunderstanding. Sam stood in the heat with Rex panting beside him and understood the geometry of the problem. They could snatch her in daylight and write him as unstable before sunset. This wasn't testimony prep anymore. This was extraction. At dusk, he switched vehicles, borrowing an old pickup from a veteran named Cho at the center, then set up on a service road overlooking the unfinished condo tower. Rex paced once, then settled when Sam laid a hand on his withers. Fine route, Sam whispered. They moved on foot through scrub and chain-link shadows. Rex sniffed the edge of a loading dock, circled, then pulled toward a concrete ramp spiraling down beneath the tower. Tire marks fresh, same tread width as the security van class. Below, generator hum and diesel exhaust. Mercer's security logos on temporary barricades, but no Mia. Sam marked camera positions, guard rotations, blind corners. He photographed a clipboard on a folding table when no one looked. Delivery logs that included after-hours runs to Marina Boathouse B12 and Hale Med Plaza, sub L3. He exfiltrated the same way he entered, unseen. At 10:40 p.m., they watched the private marina from mangroves across an access channel. Boathouse B12 sat dark except for one office light and two guards smoking by a side door. A teenage boy in a school hoodie was marched inside by a man in a Mercer jacket, wrists zip-tied. Leverage, Sam thought. Family pressure. Rex's ears pinned forward and he gave a tiny whine toward open water, then turned inland, tugging hard away from the boathouse. Not target, Sam whispered. Rex pulled again, insistent, toward town. Sam trusted him. Hale Medical Plaza glowed like a cruise ship at midnight. Glass, steel, donor names lit in soft gold. The public entrance slept behind automatic doors and potted palms. The underground service entrance on the east side was different. Concrete throat, security gate, delivery signage. Rex led him down a drainage swale to the side of the ramp and stopped at a grated vent. He sniffed, then looked back at Sam with that same fixed urgency from the shelter kennel. Human scent drifted through the vent. Sweat, disinfectant, fear. Sam used a multi-tool to pop two rusted screws and pulled the grate just wide enough to squeeze through. Shoulders screamed. He ignored it. Inside was a maintenance corridor beneath parking level L3. Fluorescent strips buzzed overhead. He moved fast and quiet, placing feet on concrete seams to mute sound. Rex ghosted ahead, pausing at each intersection for hand signals he remembered despite months off duty. At the third turn, they heard voices. Chief says move her before dawn, a man muttered. Where? Back to B12 till Mercer's event is done. Sam waited until footsteps receded, then edged forward to a caged supply bay secured by chain and padlock. Behind stacked boxes of saline and disposable gowns sat Mia Alvarez on the floor, wrists cuffed in front, mouth taped, eyes wide and exhausted but alive. When she saw Rex, she started crying soundlessly. Sam cut the lock with bolt cutters hanging on the wall, too easy, which meant confidence, not care. He peeled tape gently, crouched, scanned pupils. Any head hit? She shook her head. Drugged me. Not much. I fought. Can you walk? Yes. Rex pressed against her knee, then suddenly pawed at his own retired duty collar, the old leather one Sam had left on under the county slip lead. He pawed once, twice, then shoved his nose under the inside seam and whined. Sam frowned, fingers probing the collar lining, something stiff under the leather, taped flat. He drew a tiny wrapped rectangle free, a micro SD card sealed in clear tape, edges dark with grime and old sweat. Mia stared. Ruiz. What? Luis kept saying if anything happened, Rex carried insurance. I thought he was joking. Sam tucked the card into his wallet behind his military ID. Footsteps. Closer this time. He killed the corridor light, guided Mia behind shelving, and waited. A guard unlocked the outer door, stepped in with a phone flashlight, and got Sam's forearm across his throat before he inhaled to shout. 2 seconds of pressure, body lowered quiet to the floor. Zip-tied, gagged, pulse intact. Move, Sam whispered. They retraced through maintenance, out the vent, across wet grass to Cho's pickup. Mia shivered uncontrollably once inside, but kept her voice steady. Don't take me home, she said. They know it. I know. At 1:26 a.m. in a locked office above the Veterans Center gym, Sam slid the micro SD into an old laptop with no cloud sync and taped-over webcam. The first file opened shaky and dark, then stabilized into body cam footage, stamped with Ruiz's badge ID, time code. Marina Annex, the night of the party. Ruiz's voice came through, hard and breathless. Dispatch, this is Detective Ruiz. I need... Static. Then image, hallway by lower docks, a girl on the floor, barely responsive. Mia in frame, crying. Cole Mercer with a syringe. Brendan Hale holding a bottle. Tyler Darnell looking straight into the camera and saying, Turn that off, Luis. You're off task force and off leash. Ruiz moved in. Rex lunged between Cole and the girl just as Cole drove the syringe downward. Teeth on forearm. Cole screaming, camera jerking. More men entered. Blows, Ruiz fell. View tilted sideways from floor level. Audio stayed clear. Tyler's voice calm now. Inject him. We stage at his garage. Dad's guys will right overdose. Clean enough for county. A needle plunged into Ruiz's neck on camera. Mia made a strangled sound beside Sam. The footage continued in fragments. Transport, garage bay 3, concrete dust sprinkled over blood, one officer saying, Body cam? Tyler answering, I'll handle chain. Dog goes unstable narrative. Final clip. Ruiz barely conscious, face filling frame, hand reaching to Rex's collar while whispering in Spanish, Llévalo. A alguien bueno. Go. The screen froze. No one spoke for a long time. Then Sam closed the laptop slowly and looked at Mia. His voice was flat, controlled, lethal in a way that had nothing to do with guns. This is homicide, conspiracy, sexual assault, and evidence tampering with command involvement. Mia wiped her face with both hands. Will anyone touch it? Sam thought of civil channels, red tags, smiling desk sergeants. Not here, he said. Rex rested his gray muzzle on Sam's boot, eyes up, waiting for the next command. Sam put one hand on the dog's neck, the other on the laptop lid. Mission changed, he said. We're not asking Bay County for permission anymore. Mission changed, he said. We're not asking Bay County for permission anymore. He moved before the sentence cooled. In the Veterans Center office, Sam pulled blackout tape over the door glass, set the laptop on a folded sweatshirt to keep the fan quiet, and started making copies. One to an old encrypted thumb drive he'd kept since deployment days. One to a cheap pharmacy flash drive. One to a burner phone with a cracked screen. Mia sat at the desk, arms wrapped around herself, watching the progress bars crawl. "Who do we send it to?" she asked. "Not county. State Bureau, U.S. Attorney Civil Rights Desk, 2 reporters who don't owe Mercer money, and 1 friend who still believes in paper trails." He dialed from a prepaid phone and got a woman on the 3rd attempt. "Ava Krill," she answered, clipped and awake. "Ava, it's Sam Bennett." A pause. "Navy Bennett?" "Yeah. Need a secure intake now. Homicide and cover-up with local command contamination." Her voice shifted from surprise to protocol. "You have witnesses?" "Yes." "Original media?" "Yes." "Are you safe?" Sam looked at Mia, at Rex stationed by the door like carved stone. "No." "Then don't transmit over open network yet," Ava said. "Can you reach county line in under 90? "Maybe." "Text this key to no one. I'll send a dead drop link and dispatch state investigators to a neutral meet." She lowered her voice. "If local names are what I think they are, assume your phone and vehicle are burned." He ended the call and started packing fast. At 2:03 a.m., every light in the Veterans Center went out. Not a flicker, a kill. The emergency exit sign glowed dim red over the stairwell. Then came tires outside, more than 1 vehicle, doors slamming, radios chattering. A bullhorn barked from the parking lot. "Sam Bennett. This is Bay County Sheriff's Office. Exit with hands visible. Release the female immediately." Mia went white. "They're saying you took me?" "That's exactly what they're saying." Another voice, amplified and cheerful with authority. "Animal Control has lawful seizure order for dangerous K9 identified as Rex. Compliance avoids force." Rex's ears twitched at his name, but he didn't move. Sam killed the laptop screen, yanked the micro SD from the wallet to sock, and handed Mia a hoodie from the lost and found bin. "Put this on. Head down. Stay on my left." He cracked the office door and looked into the dark hall. Flashlight beams swept the front lobby. Someone tried the stairwell knob. From downstairs, Mr. Cho's voice cut through the noise, loud and furious. "Gym's closed. You need a warrant to—" A shove. A crash of folding chairs. Sam's jaw flexed once. "Back stair. Now." They moved in single file, Rex between them and the sound. On the landing, Sam paused long enough to shove a mop bucket down the top steps. It clattered, bought 2 seconds, maybe 3. The rear exit opened into the equipment alley behind the basketball court. Rainwater still pooled by the dumpsters, reflecting blue strobes from the front lot. Sam led them along the fence line and through a broken panel to the drainage canal. Behind them, someone shouted, "Backside! He's moving!" A shot cracked. Not close. Warning or panic. Rex flinched but kept pace. They hit Cho's borrowed pickup where Sam had parked under dead cameras. He got Mia in, Rex in, and rolled with lights off until they reached the service road. In the mirror, red-blue lights spread around the Veterans Center like spilled paint. Mia stared at her hands. "Mr. Cho." "Can't help him if we're in cuffs." His phone buzzed with an emergency alert from Bay County Public Safety. "Bolo. Samuel Bennett, armed/volatile, possible PTSD crisis. Suspect in abduction of shelter employee, Maya Alvarez. Do not approach." Below it, another notice. Dangerous animal disposal order approved. K9 Rex. Sam felt something hard settle into place inside him. If they won tonight, they'd win against men who could draft legal language faster than he could reload. He aimed for his house anyway. Go bag, hard copy notes, the fender cover from Ruiz's garage, things a smear campaign couldn't erase. At 2:41, he turned onto his road and saw orange light where there should have been dark. His house was burning, not fully engulfed yet. Kitchen and back wall were already blown out with flame, roof beginning to sag. A county fire engine sat in the driveway with no hose deployed. 2 firefighters leaned against the truck, drinking coffee while the structure went. Sam braked hard 50 yards out and killed headlights. "No," Mia whispered. "No siren, no urgency. Just controlled loss." Sam grabbed binoculars. On the mailbox post, even in firelight, he could read the fresh red tag stapled over yesterday's citation. Condemned, unfit/unsafe. A sheriff cruiser idled at the shoulder. The deputy inside never looked toward the fire. He watched the road, waiting for someone to come home. "Trap," Sam said. He backed out with lights off and took the marsh track east, bumping through mud and reeds until the glow was gone. He didn't speak for 10 minutes. Neither did Mia. At a stop beneath a dead billboard, Sam opened the glove box and checked the drives. 1 encrypted stick, 1 cheap copy, laptop, no paper notes, no fender cover, no syringe cap photos except digital. Everything physical at the house was now ash. He called Ava from the burner. She answered instantly. "Where are you?" "Compromised. Residence burned under supervision." A breath. "Jesus, I've got 2 investigators en route from Pensacola. Meeting point Old Way Station on Route 8 at 4 o'clock. You get there, stay in vehicle, hazards on twice, and hand original media only. No speeches." "Copy." He hung up and drove. At 3:27, 2 miles from Route 8, they saw the checkpoint. Cones, portable floodlights, 3 state-looking cruisers angled across lanes, troopers in campaign hats. Too neat, too fast. One stepped into the road and lifted a flashlight. "Driver, kill engine?" Sam didn't. He rolled closer, scanned patches through windshield glare. Wrong insignia stitching. One vest had Mercer security under a borrowed jacket. "Not ours," he said. The first fake trooper reached for his sidearm. Sam dropped the truck into reverse, spun into a drainage turnout, and the world erupted. Shouts, gunfire, glass punching inward. Mia ducked. Rex barked once, furious. They fishtailed onto the shoulder and tore down a gravel service lane. A bullet blew the rear tire. The pickup slammed sideways into a culvert and died with a metallic scream. "Out!" Sam shoved Mia through the passenger door. He grabbed the laptop bag and Rex's lead, then froze when he heard water rushing under the culvert and felt the bag strap go slack, torn on impact. The laptop and cheap drive skidded from the cab and vanished into black runoff. He dropped to his knees, arm deep in filthy water, searching by feel. Nothing but reeds and broken plastic. Headlights swept the lane behind them. Sam yanked his hand out, bleeding from a glass. "Move!" They ran through palmetto scrub while voices fanned out behind. Rex kept low, doubling back once to break scent, then drove them toward the overpass. By the time dawn thinned the eastern sky, they were hiding beneath Route 8 in wet concrete shadow, breathing like hunted things. Sam inventory checked in whispers. Original card? He dug into his sock. Still there, bent at one corner, but intact. Encrypted drive? He patted his chest pocket. Empty. Gone. Mia closed her eyes. We lost everything. Not everything. But it felt like almost. A text arrived on Sam's burner from an unknown number. No words, just a photo. Mr. Cho on his knees in the Veterans Center parking lot. Face bloodied, hands zip-tied behind him. Time-stamped, 6 minutes earlier. Under the photo, "This is what helping you looks like." Sam stared until the screen dimmed. That was the failure point he couldn't tactical his way around. People who stood near him got hurt, and tonight had proven it fast. They made it to an abandoned bait shop on the county edge after sunrise, slipping in through a warped back door. The place smelled of old nets and mildew, windows painted over from the inside. Sam cleaned the cut on his hand with bottled water and a torn T-shirt. Rex had a furrow along his flank from flying glass, shallow but bleeding. Sam irrigated it, hand steady, voice low. Mia sat on an overturned crate, knees up, forehead pressed to them. For the first time since the marina, no one was yelling at her. No one was filming her. No one was telling her what version of truth to repeat. Silence made room for the rest. She thought about Nico at 11, sleeping with one sock on because he always kicked the other off. About Luis Ruiz handing her a cup of machine cocoa last winter and saying, "You're too young to look that tired." About the check Brendan Hale's assistant had slid across a cafe table 3 days after the party for inconvenience and schooling. $10,000. She had cried in the bathroom, then deposited it anyway because Nico's inhaler refill and rent were both late, and pride didn't keep kids breathing. She had told herself it wasn't hush money if she still planned to talk. Then Ruiz died. Then Mercer's lawyer sent an NDA with her name already typed. She signed that too. Now the guilt sat in her throat like a wire. Sam finished bandaging Rex and looked over. "Drink water." She took the bottle, didn't open it. "I signed papers." "What papers?" "NDA. After the marina, and I took money." The words came fast once started. "Not from Cole directly, from Hale's people. They called it a scholarship stipend. I knew what it was. I took it anyway." Sam didn't speak. Mia's laugh cracked into something close to a sob. "So if this ever gets to court, they'll say I'm bought and unstable and vindictive, and they won't even have to lie." She wiped her face with her sleeve, angry at herself for crying again. "You keep risking everything for me, and I am not clean evidence. I am messy and scared and compromised." Rex stood and leaned his weight into her shin, warm and solid. She gripped his collar with both hands. "I keep seeing Luis on that floor," she whispered. "He looked at me like I could fix it if I just moved faster. I didn't. I froze. Then I signed things and went back to work and hosed kennels and pretended normal was still possible." She looked up at Sam. "If Nico gets hurt because of this, it's on me. All of it." Sam crossed the room and crouched in front of her, bad shoulders stiff, eyes tired but direct. "Listen to me. They hurt people because they can, not because you failed some purity test." She shook her head. "You were 19 with a kid brother and no power. They had lawyers, cops, and a hospital board. That's not a fair fight. It never was." Mia swallowed hard. "Why are you still here?" He took a breath, as if the honest answer cost more than tactics. "Because I know what it feels like to be 30 seconds too late and spend years pretending that's acceptable. I'm done pretending." Her fingers found his wrist before she seemed to decide to do it. The contact was brief, trembling, real. Outside, a gull cried over the marsh. Inside, she let herself lean forward until her forehead touched his shoulder, careful of the hardware, and for 1 minute she was not witness, target, or liability, just exhausted and terrified, and not alone. Then Sam's burner buzzed again. They both flinched. Video message. Unknown sender. 32 seconds. Sam hit play. Nico Alvarez filled the frame, duct tape over his mouth, eyes swollen from crying. He was tied to a metal chair in a room with boat fuel cans stacked behind him. A familiar wall calendar hung crooked. Marina Annex, Boathouse B12. Camera panned to Tyler Darnell, smiling like this was a campaign ad. "Morning, Mia," he said. "Your brother's with us because you keep choosing bad mentors." He held up Sam's VA card. How he got it, unclear, but there it was. Here's the schedule, Tyler went on. At 1100, groundbreaking at Mercer Waterfront. Big stage, live cameras. You get on that stage and tell everyone Detective Ruiz was an addict, your memory is unreliable, and Sam Bennett abducted you and edited fake footage. You hand over the dog. You do that, Nico goes home. He crouched beside the boy and tapped the chair. You don't. Cole practices injections again, this time with witnesses. The video ended. A second message hit immediately after. A PDF of a signed emergency judicial order authorizing immediate destruction of K9 Rex upon contact due to felony assault on peace officers at Route 8. Third message, a location pin for the groundbreaking, plus a photo of local news vans already setting up. Mia made a sound Sam had never heard from her before, raw and animal. I'm going, she said. I'll say whatever they want. No. She stood anyway, wiping her face hard. That's my brother. And this is their endgame, Sam snapped, then forced his voice down. Public recant, discredit evidence, kill Rex, burn me on camera. Nico still disappears after. She knew he was right. That was the worst part. Rex moved between them, restless, reading tone and threat, tail rigid. Sam stared at the black screen a moment longer, then switched to mission cadence. They just told us where the leverage is and when the crowd is largest. That means pressure on both sites, which means gaps. Mia shook her head. There is no way to do both. He looked at her. We don't do both alone. He dug in his cargo pocket and pulled a second burner she hadn't seen. Old habit, old paranoia. He powered it on, entered Ava's number from memory, and sent one line, live hostage, Boathouse B12. Footage ready if we can broadcast. Need state troopers now. No immediate response. Clock on the wall, dead battery, useless. Sam checked his watch. 8:14 a.m. Less than 3 hours. He packed what remained. Original micro SD wrapped in plastic. One pistol magazine, zip ties, med tape, folding knife, flash device from an old range kit. He clipped Rex's lead to a chest harness instead of collar and tightened it. Mia stood still, then said quietly, If this goes bad, you take Nico first, not me. Sam met her eyes. Not leaving either of you. A distant thump of rotor blades rolled across the marsh. Helicopter, maybe news, maybe sheriff. Sam killed the bait shop lights they hadn't turned on, cracked the back door, and scanned the road. 2 black SUVs were already turning off the highway toward them. Contact, he said. No time left for better plans. He handed Mia the burner, pointed to the drainage ditch line. If we split, run north to the old rail bridge and don't stop. Send that video to every reporter you can find. And you? He gave a humorless half-smile. I've got a groundbreaking to attend. The SUVs accelerated, gravel spraying. Rex bared his teeth for the first time that morning. Sam chambered around, grabbed the micro SD like it was a pulse, and stepped into the doorway as the first vehicle door flew open. The SUVs accelerated, gravel spraying. Rex's lip curled, a silent warning. Sam lifted his pistol and shouted, Down! The first Mercer man cleared the door with a carbine half raised. Sam popped the flash device off the jam with his thumb and skipped it low across the gravel. It burst white-hot between the SUVs, a punch of light and sound that made 3 men stagger and swear. Move! Sam barked. Mia didn't freeze this time. She ran. She cut left toward the ditch exactly where he'd pointed earlier, then stopped short, pivoted, and sprinted back to the nearest SUV instead. One dazed guard fumbled at the driver's door. Mia drove her shoulder into him, ripped the keys from his hand, and slid behind the wheel. Sam! He dragged Rex by harness across the yard. fired one round into the bait shop floodlight to kill the glare, and yanked the rear door open. Bullets cracked through rotten siding as he shoved Nico's video burner into his vest and dove in after the dog. Mia slammed it in drive and launched them onto the access road, fishtailing hard enough to throw Sam against the seat back. Behind them, the second SUV gave chase. "Can you drive like this on purpose?" Sam said, breath clipped. She gripped the wheel, jaw set. "I grew up with a brother and no brakes." "Yes." Rex braced between the seats, ears forward. Sam's burner buzzed. "Ava. State units, 28 minutes out. Too late for quiet. Go loud." He looked at the dash clock, 8:27. "Groundbreaking starts at 10, he said. "They expect you there at 11 for recant." Mia's eyes never left the road. "Then we show up early?" By 9:41, the Mercer waterfront site looked like a county fair sponsored by corruption. White tents. Brass band warming up under a banner 3 stories high. "Building tomorrow." Local news vans lined the curb, satellite dishes tilted skyward. Judges, donors, and city council members stood in pressed linen under misting fans while volunteers passed champagne flutes at breakfast hour. At the center rose a stage with 2 giant LED screens and a ceremonial silver shovel rack. Mia parked the stolen SUV in the media overflow lane like she belonged there. Sam caught her arm before she opened the door. "If this goes wrong..." "It already went wrong," she said. Her hands shook once, then stilled. "I'm done hiding in their version." She took a county volunteer lanyard from the glove box, clipped it on, and walked toward the stage entrance with shoulders square. Sam watched security scan her, hesitate at recognition, then wave her through, because of course they did. They expected obedience. Sam moved the opposite direction with Rex at heel, skirting cable runs and generator trailers until he reached the broadcast control tent. 2 local station techs argued over audio levels, while a third smoked by the side flap. Sam held up the micro SD between 2 fingers. "Breaking evidence tied to Mercer event. You want first rights, or do you want to explain missing it?" The smoker blinked. "Who are you?" "Person handing you a career." He slipped past before they decided to stop him. Inside, he found the master switch laptop, feeding both stage screens and pooled press stream. Password prompt up. He plugged in a keyboard, tried default engineering code twice, then looked at the sticky note on the monitor stand. BLDTMRW exclamation point 2026. It opened. "Thank you, hubris," he muttered. He inserted the micro SD files populated. Outside, applause swelled as Mayor Rutledge introduced Paul Mercer at the podium. Cameras swung wide. The banner fluttered above them like a threat. Sam selected Ruiz_bodycam_final.mp4, set it to full output on both LED screens and live press feed, and cued a mass send to every address Ava had texted. State Bureau intake, U.S. Attorney Civil Rights Desk, 3 national desks, 6 local outlets, and 1 cloud archive server in Atlanta. He attached raw file, hash values, and a 1-line note. Original evidence. Local chain compromised. Hostage at Marina B12. He hovered over enter. From stage speakers, Paul Mercer boomed, "Bay County has always believed in family." Sam hit send. The screens behind Mercer cut from sponsor logos to shaky body cam night footage. At first, the crowd thought it was part of a video package. Then the audio hit at full volume. "Inject him. We stage at his garage." Tyler Darnell's voice echoed across the waterfront. A champagne flute shattered on concrete. Somebody screamed. Reporters lunged for better angles, like a single organism waking up. On stage, Cole Mercer stood up so fast his chair toppled. "Kill that feed. Kill it." Mia stepped out from the wing into center stage, ripped a handheld mic from its stand, and shouted over the chaos. "My name is Mia Alvarez. I was there. That footage is real." Security rushed her. She backed up 2 paces and pointed straight at Tyler, then Cole, then Brendan Hale. "They held me in Hale Plaza, underground this morning. They have my 11-year-old brother, Nico, at Marina Boathouse B12 right now." Every camera in the pit turned to her. Tyler grabbed for her mic. She ducked him, voice cracking but loud. "Don't let Bay County Police take me off this stage. Not one local officer." "State only!" Cole lunged. Rex exploded from the tent opening, hit the stage stairs, and planted between Cole and Mia, barking command sharp into microphones. Cole stumbled backward, cursing. Sam came up behind Rex, weapon low but visible. "Nobody touches her." Local officers at the perimeter hesitated, hands on belts, looking to Chief Darnell, who wasn't there. Their delay cost them control. Reporters were already live. Phones were already streaming. The footage was already out. Tyler recovered first. He smiled for cameras. Too smooth. "This is a PTSD stunt by a violent veteran. You're all watching a felony kidnapping narrative unfold." Mia lifted her chin and answered him into the mic. "Then ask him where Nico is. Ask him why he just texted me this." She held her burner to a camera lens. Nico duct-taped, crying. The crowd made the sound crowds make when denial dies. Tyler's smile vanished. He leaned toward a plainclothes guard and hissed, "Move package now." Sam heard it. He grabbed Mia's wrist. "We go." They ran down the back stairs as sirens rose from every direction. Behind them, on giant screens, still looping Ruiz's footage, Detective Luis Ruiz looked into his own body cam and reached for Rex's collar one last time. They took a marina maintenance cart through a service gate, while police cruisers clogged the main roads. Mia rode shotgun, gripping the dashboard, speaking into a reporter's live call she had answered on speaker without asking permission. "Yes, this is Mia Alvarez. Yes, I'm en route to B12. Keep your feet up. If it cuts, publish the messages." Sam glanced at her, then reached over and nudged the phone closer. "Tell them Nico has asthma." She did. By the time they hit the annex perimeter, B12 was in lockdown. 2 Mercer guards with long guns at the dock door, 1 on the catwalk, 1 skiff idling out back as exfil. Sam killed the cart behind stacked fuel drums. "Plan," Mia whispered. "Flash front, breach right, I clear hall. Rex clears left rooms. You stay on my shoulder until I say move." She shook her head. "Nico shuts down if he hears yelling. He needs my voice. If he panics, they use it." Sam looked at her hard, measuring risk against truth. She met it. "I'm coming in." He gave one short nod. "Stay behind Rex." They moved. Sam tossed the flash through the office window. Light and concussive pop. He hit the door as the first guard stumbled out blinded, stripped the rifle with a wrist peel, and dropped him with a knee buckle. Rex launched past, took the second guard's bicep in a controlled clamp, drove him to deck boards, and held. Inside smelled like diesel, bleach, and fear. A man rounded the hall with a pistol. Sam redirected the muzzle into drywall, elbowed his jaw, and zip-tied him before he hit the ground. Mia was already shouting, "Nico! It's me! Nico! Answer me!" A muffled cry came from the rear storage room. Then Brendan Hale appeared at the far doorway, lab coat thrown over street clothes like a costume. He held Nico in front of him with one arm around the boy's chest and a syringe in the other hand. "Back up!" Brendan yelled. "One more step and he naps forever." Mia went rigid. "Brendan, don't." Brendan's eyes were wild now, sweat-drenched. "You were supposed to read the script, Mia. This was fixable." "By killing us?" She shot back. "Like Luis?" His grip tightened on Nico. Luis was collateral. Sam shifted left, looking for angle. None. Mia moved one step forward before Sam could stop her. Nico, baby, look at me. The boy's eyes found hers over Brendan's forearm. Do you remember tide drill? She said, voice suddenly calm. When we hear one whistle, we drop flat. Show me. Brendan barked, shut up. Mia kept her eyes on Nico. One whistle means what? Nico whispered through tape. Drop. Mia whistled, sharp, piercing. Nico went limp and dropped straight down like she'd trained him for storms. Brendan's syringe hand jerked with the sudden weight shift. Sam crossed the distance in 2 strides, trapped Brendan's wrist against the doorframe until the syringe clattered and drove him face first to concrete. Clear, Sam shouted. Mia ripped tape off Nico's mouth and hauled him into her arms. He clung to her hoodie and sobbed. On the catwalk above, boots thundered. Cole Mercer burst into view with Tyler behind him, both armed, both cornered. Cole aimed straight at Rex. That dog dies now, he screamed. My father owns this county. Sam stepped in front of Rex before the shot broke. The round tore through Sam's sleeve and punched splinters from a piling. He didn't fire back. He lunged up the stairs, taking 2 at a time despite the leg pain, and met Cole at the landing. Cole fired again wild. Sam jammed the slide with his left palm, took a grazing burn across knuckles, and rotated the weapon out with a brutal downward strip that sent the pistol spinning into the bay. Cole swung like a rich kid who'd only ever hit golf balls. Sam put him on his back with a shoulder check and forearm pin. Tyler bolted toward the rear skiff. Rex cut him off mid-ramp, hit thigh-high, and drove him into the rail without puncturing deep. Tyler shrieked and dropped his gun in the water. Mia, still holding Nico with one arm, grabbed a loose dock line and kicked Tyler's ankles out from under him when he tried to crawl. Stay down, she yelled, fury finally breaking loose. Stay down for 1 minute in your life. He spat at her. You think this sticks? My dad... Your dad resigned 10 minutes ago, Sam said, panting, pressing Cole's face to wet planks. His burner, still in his chest pocket, buzzed with Ava's text on speaker because the button had jammed open. Live everywhere. State troopers, 90 seconds. Hold scene. Cole thrashed. You should have shot me, old man. Sam tightened the armbar but kept his voice level. No. You testify. Sirens flooded the inlet. This time the patches were real. State troopers poured in from both dock ends, weapons out, shouting commands. Local units skidded up behind them and were immediately ordered back by a trooper captain with a bullhorn and no patience. Hands zip-tied, face bleeding, Cole Mercer kept twisting to look at the cameras still pointed his way. You can't do this, he shouted. We'll bury all of you. Nobody stopped recording. The first 30 minutes after the takedown were all noise and light. Troopers separated suspects, bagged weapons, and swept the boathouse room by room, while federal agents patched in through encrypted tablets. A medic tried to sit Sam down. He refused until Nico was checked first. The boy's inhaler was found in a locker with 2 burner phones and a ledger of guest inventory that made even veteran cops go quiet. Mia gave her statement on body cam beside the same fuel cans from Tyler's video. She did not shake once. State your name, the investigator said. Mia Elena Alvarez. Did Samuel Bennett abduct you? No. He extracted me after Mercer Security kidnapped me. Did you provide false testimony under coercion? Yes. I signed an NDA and took money because I was scared and broke. I'm correcting that now under oath. She looked straight at the lens. Detective Luis Ruiz was murdered. They tried to do the same to me. At the edge of the dock, Sam finally let the medic clean the groove in his arm. It was flesh deep, messy, survivable. Rex sat pressed against his knee, blood on fur that wasn't his. A state evidence tech approached, holding a clear bag. Inside was the bent micro SD. "Chain of custody starts now," she said. Sam nodded. "Make 50 copies before lunch." Ava Krill arrived in a wrinkled blazer, hair still wet from a rush shower, and flashed credentials that outranked everyone's patience. She took one look at Sam's arm and frowned. "You always did prefer dramatic entries." He managed half a breath of a laugh. "You got the file?" "Every newsroom in Florida has it. So does DOJ. Behind them, Chief Darnell's son sat cuffed on a curb, screaming for a lawyer while cameras zoomed close enough to count pores. Brendan Hale vomited twice and begged for medical immunity. Cole stayed loud until troopers walked him past Nico. The boy stared at him with flat, terrified hatred. Cole looked away first. When the immediate scene stabilized, a trooper captain handed Sam a phone. Someone named Cho. Mr. Cho's voice came rough but alive. "I'm fine, Bennett. 3 stitches. Stop making old men worry." Sam closed his eyes briefly. "Copy that." He hung up and turned to where Mia sat on an evidence crate with Nico asleep against her chest. She looked 15 and 40 at the same time. "It's not over," she said quietly. "No," Sam said. "But it's not theirs anymore." For the first time in 2 days, he believed it. 2 nights later, in a state safe house 40 miles inland, the quiet felt stranger than gunfire. The place was a rented ranch home with government furniture and secure locks, all beige and temporary. Nico slept in the back room under a weighted blanket provided by a victim advocate who clearly knew her job. Rex lay across the threshold between rooms like a sentry rug. Mia stood at the kitchen sink in borrowed sweats, hands wrapped around untouched tea. Sam sat at the table with his arm in fresh bandage, paperwork spread in neat stacks. When she spoke, her voice was barely above the refrigerator hum. They offered witness protection under a new last name. "That's good. It feels like dying." He didn't answer right away. She turned, eyes red but clear. "I keep replaying the stage. Part of me still expects someone to tell me I'm lying and make it true." Sam looked up. "That part doesn't disappear fast." She crossed to the table and sat opposite him. "You ever stop hearing it? The thing you were too late for?" He held her gaze. "No. You just learn not to obey it." Silence settled. Not empty this time. Mia gave a tired smile. "You know everyone online is calling you the K9 vigilante, right?" "Great. Exactly what my blood pressure needed." She laughed once, then sobered. "I owe you my life. Nico's too." "You don't owe me." "I do." He leaned back, wincing at his shoulder. "Then pay it forward. Testify. Stay alive. Finish nursing school when this settles." She blinked. "How did you—" "Your shelter locker had farm flashcards." Mia looked down at her tea. "Luis used to say I'd make a better nurse than witness." "You can be both." She was quiet a beat, then reached across the table and covered his hand with hers. "When this started, I thought you were just another man with a savior complex and a limp. I was wrong." Sam's mouth twitched. "Wouldn't be the first time someone misread me." "I didn't misread all of it." Her thumb traced the edge of his knuckles, careful of the new burn. "You carry everyone." "That's not a compliment." "I know." She squeezed once and let go. "But you don't have to carry me after this." He nodded, understanding what she meant and what she didn't. What had grown between them wasn't romance, it was forged trust, familial and fierce. A knock came at the door. Ava stepped in after the marshal cleared her, holding 2 paper cups and a file box. Off-duty jeans, no blazer armor. She set 1 cup by Sam and one by Mia. Bad coffee peace offering, she said. Also indictments. State forensics also processed Ruiz's garage. Blood transfer on the Bay 3 fender cover matched Ruiz, and residue on the recovered syringe cap corroborated the body cam injection sequence. Prosecutors logged it as corroborative support behind the video and boathouse scene, so that thread is closed. Mia stood. I should check on Nico. When she left, Ava watched the hallway a moment, then sat where Mia had been. You look terrible, she said. Flattery. I'm serious. I know. Ava opened the file, then closed it again without reading. I spent 12 years building cases against men like Mercer. You know how many stuck before this week? Not enough. 2. She exhaled. You handed me one they can't outrun. Sam rubbed his brow. Because a dog refused to quit. Ava smiled faintly. And because you didn't either. He looked at her properly then, lines at the eyes he remembered from task force briefings years ago, now deeper. The same steadiness that once made him trust her, with coordinates and names he didn't give anyone else. You called me Navy, he said. Haven't heard that in a while. Didn't know if I still got to. Guess you do. Ava's fingers tapped the coffee cup, nervous for the first time. When this is done, I'm being offered a transfer to Tampa. Closer, less feudal nonsense. She met his eyes. I'd like to not lose contact this time. Sam went still. In another life, he would have deflected, made a joke, chosen distance because distance felt safer than wanting anything. But safe had never been the same as alive. I was hard to stay in contact with, he said. You vanished. I thought that was the point. Ava shook her head. It wasn't. He let that sit. Then quietly, I don't sleep much. I wake up mean. My shoulder predicts storms better than weather apps. I own one decent chair and a dog crate now. Ava's mouth curved. I've seen your file, Navy. I'm not applying for perfect. He almost smiled. Good. She leaned forward, voice softer. I cared about you back then. I care now. I'm done pretending professionalism's the whole story. The words landed harder than gunfire had. Sam looked down at his bandaged arm, then back at her. I don't move fast. Neither do I. She held his gaze. But I'm here, on purpose. He reached across the table, turned his hand palm up. She placed hers in it. No dramatic kiss, no cinematic line, just 2 tired people choosing not to retreat. From the hallway, Rex thumped his tail once against the wall like approval. 6 months later, dawn broke clear over Bay County for the first annual Detective Luis Ruiz Memorial Run. The Marina Annex had been seized under a forfeiture action. The old boathouse B-12 wore yellow evidence tape, faded by sun. Mercer banners were gone. In their place stood a temporary memorial wall covered in photos. Ruiz in uniform, with Rex as a younger dog, Mia in nursing scrubs at community clinic orientation, Nico grinning with a new inhaler, clipped to his backpack strap. At the starting line, state troopers, not county, managed the event. Sam stood near the flag table in a clean polo, arm scar-healed, limp unchanged. Rex sat beside him wearing a new harness with a small patch. Retired K-9, honor unit. Mia approached with Nico and an escort marshal who kept respectful distance. She looked older now in the way trauma and safety together can age a person into herself. You made it, Sam said. Wouldn't miss it. She glanced at Rex and smiled. He still steals my socks when we visit. Operational necessity. Nico hugged Sam's waist, then knelt to bury his face in Rex's neck. I drew him a badge, he announced, handing over a crayon sketch. The badge was crooked and perfect. At the podium, Ava, now with a state task force pin, finished introducing Ruiz for full line-of-duty recognition. The crowd clapped long, some crying openly. When the applause faded, Sam stepped to the flag table. He took Rex's old leather retired duty collar from his pocket, the one with the slit under the seam where Ruiz had hidden the micro SD, and placed it beside Ruiz's folded flag. Mia came to stand next to him. "You okay?" she asked. He nodded once. "I used to think I took Rex because I couldn't save my team years ago. Thought this was penance." She looked at him, waiting. "Forensics finished route mapping last week," he said. "From Ruiz's garage to the unofficial kennel to county shelter intake. Rex broke containment, ran 12 miles with that card in his collar, and showed up Thursday night." Mia's brows lifted. "Thursday? Your volunteer night?" "Yeah." Sam looked down at Rex, who leaned against his leg and sighed. "No one abandoned him. He picked me." Mia's eyes filled, but she smiled. "Good dog made a good call." A horn sounded for race staging. People moved toward the start chute. Ava walked over, bumped Sam's shoulder lightly with hers, and handed him a travel mug. "Coffee," she said. "Still bad." "Consistent," he replied. She glanced at Mia, at Nico, at Rex, then back to Sam. "You ready?" Sam watched the morning light hit the water where the rain and darkness had once hidden everything. He heard Rex's steady breathing, felt the weight of the mug in his hand, and for once didn't scan every exit first. "Yeah," he said. At the starter's signal, they stepped forward together.